play, which is not necessary, but now it's in the work. What's that? I see a reward there. Yes, I know, right? Because I was
There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. who or what you call yourself or where you come from. Yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Even you are. Trust the Lord. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world. Open arms right now. Welcome to love. Welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. Be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe out slowly. All that's around you. All that you feel. All that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh. We unite, yeah, yeah. When we unite, yeah, peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Like that, I am back on the drums. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, this place of love, laughter, learning, friends, all of it, this spiritual extended soul family that we have here in Ocala. How many people stay in Ocala because of this place? Because of you, I love this town. I love each and every one of you. We had the best fun yesterday at our place doing the seafood boil. How many people were there? Oh my goodness, wasn't that good? We raised $710. Give y'all guys a hand. That's the profit. That's after we got, and y'all know crabs are expensive, right? Live crabs are expensive. And that was our profit with everybody who showed up. So thank you from the bottom of my very little heart. Thank you so much. It's a big heart. It's a big, big heart, right? Yes. Awesome. All righty. Well, welcome here. How many people are here for the very first time? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming out. There's so many places you could be, and you chose to come and spend your energy here. You know you can never get this time back, right? This is forever and ever gone. And here you are choosing to be here. I appreciate that about you to make that choice to come on here today. So thank you for showing. And here we go. And welcome to everybody in online land. How y'all doing? Where's the camera? Hey, hey, y'all, hey. And here is Center for Spiritual Living. Okay. It's like, it's so funny because I code switch. Do y'all know what code switch means? Yeah, it's when I switch into that Jamaican accent and I catch myself trying not to do that. So I get tongue tied from time to time. So, Center for Spiritual Living, welcome. We have our vision today. Yeah, man. You could be several places, but here you are in sunny South Florida. Our vision is that we are Model Center for Spiritual Living, as evidenced by the transformational impact we have on our spiritual community, the CSL organization, and the community at large. I used to have to code switch with my mom all the time because she could understand me better than with the American accent. Our vision is to empower individuals. Our mission, oh my goodness, our mission is to empower individuals to awaken to the power and presence that lies within and all around them so they may live their very best lives. And I can tell you right now, this has been absolutely the outpicturing in my own world, is that this has been what has happened for me, and that is why I keep coming. I feel empowered every time I step foot in this place. So I hope you feel the same as well. Our values, and I invite you to say them with me with lots of enthusiasm: spiritual growth and practice, love, appreciation, community, freedom, creativity, health and wholeness, generosity, financial well-being. And thank you so much. We're going to have to pick again because our community has changed, but this is the values that we chose as a community. All of us voted on them, and this is the top ones that came through from that, and we just need to do that again. But to just know that everybody that said that out loud is embodying that very thing that we were just talking about. Everybody, Reverend Cindy Grimes, the possibilitarian, the inspirator.
Oh, thank you, Donna. Can you hear me? Oh, gosh, it's so beautiful. Look around the room. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas here. We're going to do like a, did I say that right? Okay, all right. Sometimes I get tongue-tied too. So happy Mother's Day to everybody here today, everyone. Donna, can we have a little music? I want to do a little musical interlude of our, yeah. What we talked about, because I'm going to lead us in a guided imagery before we get into the story of Sky Woman falling. So I'm just going to invite you, let this be our meditative time. If y'all can get nice and comfortable and maybe put both feet on the floor and take a few deep breaths. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can do that. If that's not comfortable for you, then just keep them open but soften your gaze. The idea is to kind of turn your attention within. Do the song? Yeah, start with the song. Start with the song? Yeah. Yes. We're going to start with a little music to get us in the mode, to get us into that meditative space. And thank you all for your patience this morning. We had some tech issues and, we're just rolling with it. So we started a little bit late, but we'll get ourselves back on track here. And we're sitting together here at tables because it's Mother's Day and we've got some food that we'll be having after our service today. So we just invite you to stay, grab a plate, come eat. Not just yet, in about an hour. All right.
So this song is from Melinda Wool Allen and J.D. Martin and Jan Garrett. Sky above, earth below, fire within me, this I know. Wind and water, sand and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and heart of mine. Sky above, earth below, sky within me, this I know. Wind and water, sand and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Keep singing, y'all.
Sky above, earth below, fire within me, this I know. Wind and water, sand and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Within me, this I know. Sand and water, wind and time. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Take a deep breath. Breathing in peace and stillness. Exhaling any tensions or worries. Feel yourself in alignment with your highest self. Let your soul be your guide as you set out on this inner journey. The Divine Mother. Who is Mother to you? Each of us in this room and within the sound of my voice has something in common. We each have a mother whose womb held us as we came into this earthly existence. Regardless of who your biological mother may have been, whether she was rich or poor, strong or weak, whether she was kind and loving or difficult and angry, none of this matters now. What matters is that in this moment is knowing that as you were being formed in the dark space of the womb, you were being bathed in holy waters. Primordial waters made of the stardust of the cosmos. It was a space of safety and comfort where all your needs were met. The Divine Mother formed and nurtured you then as she does now. You were then in a place of love, safety, and security, just as you are now. It is from this loving and safe space you set forth on your journey, guided by the wisdom of your soul. Now imagine yourself walking along a pathway, leading you further and further away from civilization. Forest. As you walk along the trail, see yourself winding through and among ancient, magnificent trees, hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Flowers, ferns, and bright green foliage carpet the ground. You enjoy the sound bath of birdsong and the distant sound of ocean waves rising and falling, like music. Your heartbeat, your breath, and the ocean waves keep time with the rhythms of nature. Soon the path you're on brings you to the opening of a vast cave, ancient, hidden, and seemingly forgotten by time. Intuitively, you sense that something mysterious, familiar lies within. It is intriguing and inviting. You take a light or a torch and enter the cave, following a passage that leads ever downward, deep into the womb of the earth. Notice how this place feels warm and nurturing. Go deeper still until you find yourself in the very core, the heart of the earth, a place that feels impossibly, yet incredibly familiar. As you go further, you become aware that your presence was anticipated and expected. A powerful being awaits you here in the center of the earth. Feel yourself entering into the mysterious presence of the Divine Mother Goddess. She is known by many names in many spiritual traditions. Sophia, Demeter, Isis, Shekinah, Sarah, Hestia, Shakti, Mary. She is all the feminine faces of God, but she is also more than that. She is the mother of life itself. She is simply mother. God is woman, the one to whom the world turns to in its grief and suffering. A sense of awe fills you. Notice how she appears to you. Allow yourself to be embraced by the beautiful, loving energy radiating from her heart. Go deeper into the experience. Notice as the embrace of the mother becomes a gateway to the body of creation itself. As you go beyond form, you enter into communion with the body of the earth, with all her creatures, with the trees, the ocean, the rivers, the mountains, the cities, and with people. Going even beyond the earth, feel the essence of the ancient mother expand into space, becoming the bodies of the stars and the planets and whirling galaxies spread out throughout the universe like a mantle of bright jewels. Held in the womb of mystery, you feel a powerful force, a holy energy, the breath of life, the soul of the cosmos. Feel your heartbeat in rhythm with the rhythm of life itself. Feel your heart open and free as your consciousness expands into hers, releasing blockages and barriers, flowing freely. Feel the sacred heart energy of the mother flowing in, around, and through you. Love, light, and energy, healing and renewing you, filling every part of you. Experience the creative, form-giving energy of the Divine Mother supporting you. Know that her essence, the energy of matter, and the form itself is Mother Earth supporting you in this moment and always, and in all ways. With gratitude for all that has been given and received, you begin your return journey from the core of the earth, ascending up from the cave, back to the light. Know that you carry the radiant love of the Divine Mother within you, and that it radiates from your own heart to the heart of each and everyone you meet. And so it is. Mm. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Sky and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Sky above, earth below, fire within me, this I know. Wind and water, sand and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Thank you. A joyful noise. I have a short video. I hope it plays. We have all these tech issues. I don't want to have to read it to you, but I'd love for you to see the images. This is the origin story. Let me tell you who it's from. Of the Potawatomi Nation. And it is an origin story in contrast to another origin story that I'll talk about in a little bit. Can we go ahead and play it? Hopefully you can just hit play. Not happening? Give it one more try, and then I'll go ahead and read it to you. Are you all back? Did anybody journey? Yeah? Did that meditation take you somewhere? Lovely. That was the idea, so I hope it did. Wonderful. It's not going to work? What a bummer. Well, go online and look at the pictures because it's beautiful, but I will go ahead and read this story for you. Okay. In winter, when the green earth lies resting beneath a blanket of snow, this is the time for storytelling. The storytellers begin by calling upon those who came before and passed the stories down to us, for we are only the messengers. In the beginning, there was the sky world. And so this comes from a book called Braiding Sweetgrass. Thank you, Sarah. Where's Sarah Stenson? Yes, for recommending this beautiful, beautiful book. And I highly, highly encourage all of you to read it if you get an opportunity to do that, or even listen to the audio because the author reads it herself, and it's absolutely beautiful. So this is the story, the origin story of Sky Woman. She fell like a maple seed, pirouetting on the autumn breeze. A column of light streamed from a hole in the sky world, marking her path where only darkness had been before. It took her a long time to fall. In fear, or maybe hope, she clutched a bundle tightly in her hand. Hurtling downward, she saw only dark waters below, but in that emptiness, there were many, many eyes gazing up at the sudden shaft of light. They saw there a small object, a mere dust mote in the beam, and it grew closer, and they could see that it was a woman. Arms outstretched, long black hair billowing behind as she spiraled toward them. The geese nodded at one another and rose together from the water in a wave of goose music. She felt the beat of their wings as they flew beneath to break her fall. Far from the only home she'd ever known, she caught her breath at the warm embrace of the soft feathers as they gently carried her downward. And so it began. The geese could not hold the woman above the water for much longer, so they called a council to decide what to do. Resting on their wings, she saw them all gather, the loons, the otters, the swans, the beavers, fish of all kinds, and the great turtle floated down in their midst, offering his back for her to rest upon. Gratefully, she stepped from the goose wings onto the dome of the shell. The others understood that she needed land for her home and discussed how they might serve her need. The deep divers among them had heard of mud at the bottom of the water and agreed to. After a while, he surfaced with nothing to show for his efforts. One by one, the other animals offered to help: the otter, the beaver, the weakest diver of all. He volunteered to go down while the others looked on doubtfully, his small little legs flailing as he worked his way down and was gone a very long time. They waited and waited for him to return, fearing the worst for their relative, and before long a stream of bubbles rose with his limp body. But in his hand was the mud. In his hand was the mud. Turtle said, "Here, put it on my back and I will hold it." Sky Woman bent and spread the mud with her hands across the shell of the turtle. Moved by the extraordinary gifts of the animals, she sang in thanksgiving and began to dance, her feet caressing the earth. The land grew and grew as she danced her thanks from the dabs of mud on the turtle's back, and the whole earth was made, not by Sky Woman alone, but from the alchemy of all the animals' gifts coupled with her deep gratitude. Together, they formed what we now today call Turtle Island, our home. And this from the author. Yeah. On one side of the world, where people whose relationship with the living world was shaped by Sky Woman, the story you just heard, who created a garden for the well-being of all, right? So on the one hand, we have this Sky Woman who is here, who only exists because of the kindness of the creatures that were on the earth. She was a stranger. On the other side of the earth, there was another woman with a garden and a tree. But for tasting its fruit, she was banished from the garden and the gates clanged shut behind her. That mother of men was made to wander in the wilderness and eat her bread by the sweat of her brow, not by filling her mouth with sweet, juicy fruits that bent the branches low. In order to eat, she was instructed to subdue the wilderness into which she was cast. Same species, same earth, different story. Like creation stories from everywhere, cosmologies are a source of identity and orientation to the world. We are inevitably shaped by them, no matter how distant they may be from our consciousness. One story leads to the generous embrace of the living world, the other to banishment. One woman is our ancestral gardener, a co-creator of the good green world that would be the home of her descendants. The other was in exile, just passing through an alien world on a rough road to her real home in heaven. And then they met, the offspring of Sky Woman and the children of Eve. And the land around us bears the scars of that meeting and the echoes of our stories. That's an excerpt from Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. She is a mother, a scientist, and a decorated professor, an ecology professor. So, I don't know if those stories do anything for you. I know when I heard the story of Sky Woman and contrasted it with the story of Adam and Eve, is everybody here familiar with that story, right? Can I tell you, I felt some kind of way. I was pissed. I was angry and a little bit resentful. Like, why did I grow up with that story? I don't want that story. I mean, it set women up right from the get-go, yes? She was the one who tempted the man. And that's not saying very much for men either, right? And it's her fault, right? Because she said, eat the apple, but he went ahead and ate it, But it all was on us, right? It all came down on women. And like I said, that makes me feel some kind of way. You know, it's the blame, it's the shame, it's all of that. But that is the story that we have come into in our culture and our society, whether we, and I know nobody in this room ever believed that literally, right? Like there was an Adam and an Eve, I hope. I mean, we know there are people that believe this stuff literally, instead of seeing it for the legend, for a myth, for what it was. But we grew up with a myth that placed women at the very bottom, right? And it was only because of men, you know, that we even exist. So I don't buy that story at all. Anybody else buy that story? We don't like that story. Happy Mother's Day to you all, by the way. Happy Mother's Day. This is a day and a time and a moment, and we're shifting the paradigm so that we can come into the appreciation of the divine feminine, which, by the way, exists in all of us. It's not just women. It's not just, it is in all of us and a little more. So Mother's Day, I just have a few quotes that I liked about this. In life, you don't get a manual, you get a mom. Right? True? And none of us moms got a manual either. You know, in case anybody felt like they were doing it wrong, you know, or that their mother did it wrong, like none of us got a manual, just saying. All right. We are born of love. Love is our mother. That's from Rumi. And then love, peace. It need not be acquired. It need not be deserved. It's just part of our birthright as we come into this world, from psychologist Eric Fromm. And then I'm sure that if the mothers of the various nations could meet, there would be no more wars. I don't know about that, but I like to believe that, you know? As a mom and a grandma, especially now, anybody else grandmas in here? You know, we start looking ahead, right? And looking at what we're leaving, you know, the legacy that we're leaving. And hope that we will do it better. I hope that all of us will embrace that divine feminine and do it better going forward. So we are here and welcome. Thank you so much, Donna, for doing our beautiful room. I usually do it. Hey, there she is back there. So what we teach, and for especially for you newcomers, your first-time visitors, we teach a philosophy that has gone by a few different names. It's been called Science of Mind. It's also been called religious science, and it is now called Centers for Spiritual Living. That's the philosophy we teach. And so this idea that we're talking about this month and our year, the whole year, we're teaching foundations of this teaching of religious science of mind, of what we teach here in Centers for Spiritual Living, like the very core stuff. Every month is a different core teaching. And so just want to share this from the founder of this philosophy named Ernest Holmes. He said, religious science is a practical philosophy of our relationship to the universe. Ours is a simple faith. Our belief rests on the divine idea that there is but one mind, one life, the mind and life of God. We are part of that life and mind, and all of us find our abiding places in our own consciousness. The God we are looking for, we are looking with, and we are looking at. It's all God, right? It's all God. Now I want to ask you, every one of you, if you would you point to yourself? Point to yourself, right? Look around the room. Where's everybody pointing? To their hearts, right? We don't say, oh, here I am, right? We're a teaching of the science of mind, but nobody points to their head and says, oh, this is me. We all know intuitively, instinctively, that we are from our heart space. Right? So it's time to balance things. Our culture, you know, our world really, really honors the more masculine side, right? The doing, the thinking, the action. But I want us to embrace the heart part, because we all know that that's where we are from. And we need both, right? We need both. You can't just be a heart walking around. You're not just a brain walking around. We're all of it together, right? Statement here, also from Ernest Holmes in our Declaration of Principles. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, again, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. Now, you might not like that word, and that's okay. If you don't like the word God, insert whatever word you choose. You can call it energy, call it source. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it is one. And all the world's great religions teach that, right? That there's one God. So then there is one, then clearly everything has to be part of it, right? So can we agree on that? At least from up here. Okay. But do we feel it? How do you feel it? Right? Think about the politician that's on the other side of the political spectrum from you. Do you feel one with that person? Do you feel one with the person who betrayed you? With the person who hurt you? With that person who's been terrible, the people you love? Can you feel one with that? That's where the rubber meets the road, right? Yeah. So I knew that was going to be my challenge as a minister, because in logically, like specifically, I have the science background, psychology background, like all of that stuff. Oneness, yes, I know it, I believe it, but I can't tell you, I always feel it. And if you look around the world, as true as that statement is, are we living that in a pronounced way? Like, right? And it's some of it is this, I think. This side, she's discussed, by the way, if you haven't seen Inside Out. It's a great movie. But when you talk about oneness, some folks, they're like, I don't want to hear about that. I don't buy that. I know a woman who worked in a prison. It felt very much a two-ness, a duality, like there's them and then there's us. And didn't want to know anything about that, like not willing to accept, to think that those people are even human, right? But yet she's working day in and day out with folks like this. I mean, can you relate? This is where the rubber meets the road. So we teach oneness, we live in this, we're one, but how do we feel it? And then as a minister, how do I get folks in the congregation or the people that are hearing me feel that oneness as well? And I think we do a pretty decent job here, actually. I think we do, right? One of the things I love we do here is circle conversations. So for those of you who are first-time visitors, come next week and experience Circle, because it's not me talking at you, it's all of us talking to each other in small groups. And it's magic. It's magic when somebody's sitting across from you who has a very different life experience, who looks nothing like you, is speaking words that could have come out of your mouth. You go, wow, life really is like a mirror. We really do. Human beings have so much more in common than we have different, right? But it takes getting out of the bubble. It takes getting out of your shell, right, to your opportunities. So oneness, yes, even those people who are across the aisle from you politically, or the people who have hurt you, or the people that you've hurt. We are all part of this same thing we call one God, one spirit, one life. So I'm quoting myself here because I think it's a really great statement, and it's going to be in my book. So it's this: at the very least, the idea that we are individual, isolated entities allows people to live in indifference to the world around them. Would you agree with that? Right? At its worst, the belief perpetuates insecurity and fear, allowing people to perpetrate violence and atrocities on animals, on our planet, and on other human beings in the guise of self-preservation and survival of the fittest. Right? If life is about survival of the fittest and I have to be the top dog, right, then it doesn't matter what happens to anybody else around me, right? But that whole thing of survival of the fittest was a misinterpretation, a misunderstanding of what Darwin actually found. Because for Darwin, the fittest was the one that could get along the best, the most communal, right? So for human beings, that's the person who's the sexiest, is the kindest, the friendliest. That's the one who's going to be the most likely to pass on their genes. Hello, right? I mean, do you want to be with the meanest, the nastiest, the most brutal? Nobody wants, right? So, yeah, we're kind of, it's a little messed up here. So, time for a new paradigm. And so this is how that idea of separation, we're talking oneness here, but we live in a world that is very much about duality. And this to me is how this idea of separation manifests itself, right? With people not caring about what they do to the planet or the mess that they make, that they leave behind. You know, we all have influence on the people around us and the things that are happening. Every one of us. We learned last month, right? We're continually creating. But let's take responsibility for what it is that we're creating. Right? We have to be aware of our impact and then take responsibility for it. This happens because people are not caring. They're indifferent. They're closing their eyes to what's happening to our planet. Separation, you know, there's like epidemic levels of loneliness, right? Across the board, all over the world, not just in the US, all over the place. People, and the pandemic made it even worse. Then you've got addictions of every kind, right? People trying to, to feel more whole, to heal, because we have this feeling of separation from the one and from other people. So addiction, it lets us say things like this, right? Oh, it wasn't me. The devil made me do it, right? In religions that teach about God, they actually have a separation. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense. They need a little more mind in their religion because it doesn't make sense. Devil made me do it. How about this one? Remember me for my stuff. Right? It's all about accumulation. I mean, how do we win the game of life? Isn't it having the most things? Oh, that's not it. Although that's how a lot of us live, right? Like, that's how you get to the finish line. The more stuff you have, the better, I guess. I don't know. And then you got this, right? These folks who in the name of God can say, God hates you. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Separation again, right? If people realize that the folks across the way from them, all around them, are part of the same body, you know, we treat each other better, wouldn't we? Imagine what would happen if your body, like, you know, your sphincter cells said, I'm better than you. And the brain is like, no, you're not. Until sphincter says we're shutting things down. Then who becomes more important, right? Or what if a little group of cells says, I don't like what's happening in this body. They're not going my way. I'm going to do my own thing. Does that happen? Yep. It's called tumors and cancer, you know, like some parts go rogue, they go wild. And what happens is they take down the whole system, right? So we can't separate ourselves. We are all part of this same pale little blue dot, right? We need to start learning how to live that way. Because then we have this, right? Fighting, bullying, like physical violence, which can then look like this happening in the world right now, right? Is that crazy? We just live in a lunacy. People believing that this is somehow an answer, you know? All manifestations of separation, right? Which we know is not the truth. So, and this from Albert Einstein, who was a great mystic. I don't know if y'all know this. So the scientist says this, right? A human being is part of a whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, I should say, we experience ourselves, right? Let's take the gender out of that. He experiences himself, thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. An optical delusion of consciousness, right? The delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affections for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Right? That's it. We have to break the delusion that we are singular entities that have no impact on others, nor do they impact us. So, how do we get there, right? Because we do live in a world of duality, don't we? I mean, the human existence, there's night and day. You know, we like to say there's good and bad, there's male and female, there's vegans and carnivores, right? And everything in between, everything in between. But if you were with us last week, we did Tai Chi. How many of you were here for our Qigong, right? And Sarah led us. Yes, thank you, Sarah. It was awesome. It was awesome. And Sarah did some very simple exercises, and at least one person told me they were sore afterward. Anybody else feel a little tweaks here and there? From simply standing in one place, but bringing attention to the bottom of your feet and bringing balance to all of that. And wearing your what is it? Wearing the moon like a hat. Wearing the moon like a hat, which is having your head be very like in the middle. See how the middle is there? That is the place of balance and of least resistance. It's like when you can find that spot, you don't have to work, right? You're stable, you're secure. When you're out swinging on the outskirts, right? You've got all your balance on one foot and not the other. It's real easy to get you tipped over, right? To knock you down. So we want to be in a place of balance, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like balanced. And so the thing I want to talk about today in terms of that balance, because it's all different areas, right? As I said, light and dark, night, day. I want to talk about male, female a little bit today because it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. And the fact is, again, we have all of these qualities. The stuff that I'm going to show up here is part of our human existence. Some of us exhibit some qualities more than others, you know, but we swing back and forth. But the idea is to find ourselves in that place of balance where we have access to what we need in the moment that we need it. So these are qualities that are considered part of the divine feminine. I'll just read off a few of them. The divine feminine is receptive, right? If you think of the yin and yang, there's the black and the white, right? So the black, night, restful, like the cave, talking about the cave, that imagery of the cave. It's contractive, it's intuitive, it's grounded, it's open, it's trusting, it's creative, it's collaborative energy. It's not competitive energy, it's collaborative. The feminine energy is expressive, it's empathetic, it's wise, nurturing, vulnerable, sensual, loving, compassionate, all of that. Can you see that? Can you see how those things all kind of go together? And then we have the sacred masculine, which is, so the sacred feminine or the divine feminine is like the being energy. The male energy is the doing energy. We call ourselves human beings, but how many of us function more like human doings? Right? Because we really have an appreciation for this and for action, right? But it's kind of like saying that day is better than night. You know, we really just need both of them. So the sacred masculine energy is active, it's analytical, it's protective, it's disciplined, it's driven, focused, logical, it has integrity and stability, security, confidence, honesty, humility, supportive, accountable, certainty, responsible. All of those things are part of the divine masculine. Now, how many women can embody that stuff, right? Yeah. How many men can see themselves embodying some of those divine feminine aspects? Yeah, absolutely. How many of us see us doing it all, doing both, right? Yeah, woo woo. Now, you know, there's the part where it swings too far out, right? And it can become unbalanced. So patriarchy, whoever it was that came out with that story of Adam and Eve had some issues. I'm just saying. Had some issues. I don't know if the woman turned him down. I don't know what happened, but he had some issues. And it embodies all of this kind of wounded, unbalanced masculine. Those are things that like aggressive, or avoidant, you know, withdrawn, abusive, unstable, defensive, selfish, ultra competitive, controlling, and dominant. That's that old story of survival of the fittest. That is the unhealed, wounded masculine energy when we think about that. The biggest, the baddest, like that's not good. My husband and I were at a grandson's basketball game yesterday. So you got kids from 7 to 9 learning how to play basketball. And there's always the parent in the crowd that's got something to say. That was a fragrant foul. I don't know basketball. I don't even know what this kid did, but it was a foul, I guess. I don't know. They blew the whistle, and his kid was probably doing more fouls than anybody else. And I'm thinking, aren't these kids here supposed to be learning basketball? Does it really matter who wins at 7, 8 years old? I mean, for some people, it's a big deal, but that's that ultra competitive. It's just like unstable. It's not fun to be around either. And there is a ripple effect too that happens with that, because he's all worked up, and then this one gets worked up, and that one gets worked up, and it's just, ooh, I don't miss that. Oh, who won? At the end of the game, after all of that, our 7-year-old grandson looks at Grady. He says, "Who won, Papa?" He doesn't know. He doesn't care. It was all about having fun, right? Like, if we could just get back to that, we play the games so that we can have fun. And there's so much great stuff to be learned in sports, right? Teamwork and.
I used to referee and.
Use the mic.
Okay. I used to referee, and the worst. I used to referee, and the worst fans, the worst parents in the stands were at a Christian school. I mean, dropping F-bombs at us and all kinds of stuff. And it was elementary Christian school.
Oh, wow. Wow. Y'all, we need a redo. Oh, my goodness. So we've got the wounded masculine. We understand that. There also is a wounded feminine, right? We know that too. So the wounded feminine is insecure, right? Is codependent, is maybe manipulative, passive, over-emotional, attention-seeking, jealous, perfectionist, living in a victim mindset, lack of boundaries. Anybody know that? Hallelujah. I'm not there anymore. Oh, Lordy, there is a lot of woundedness in our world. And it's all of us. We're not pointing fingers. The thing is to recognize where you are and bring yourself back into balance, because we all have our moments, right? Speaking of, I have an announcement to make. With regard to this idea of balance and embracing the divine feminine, I have been the minister here since 2015, taking over after Reverend Peggy. I was so grateful for you being here and for all that you have taught me. And Reverend Peggy did something back in the day when I was a member here and on the board, and I'm going to do that now. After 8 going on 9 years in the pulpit, I'm going to take a little break. I'm taking a sabbatical. Yeah. And it's a matter for me, I think, of restoring balance. When you're go, 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 do, achieve, all of that stuff. So I've come to realize I have a very strong masculine side, that is driven, right? That likes to get things done, that is doing. But because of all that doing and all of that, there are things that have been neglected for a long time in my world. So I'm going to take 3 months off starting in July to tend to my home and tend to myself and take care of my family so that I can come back better and stronger. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. I wasn't expecting applause.
Lead by example, hon.
Yes.
That's why the applause. But the second thing is you held us and kept this space open through a rough time, and lots of centers had to close. and you held it and took us online and then came out of it. That is why you did not get your sabbatical. The pandemic happened.
Right.
And when it happened, Cindy was there in the background, just keeping us afloat, giving us spiritual food, keeping us alive
Mm.
while we were in New York. This place was a beacon of hope because of you and all the others that were here.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that selfless work.
Mm.
And now it's time to rest and take care of yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I feel confident to do it. I feel confident because of the community, because we have wonderful teams, we have a wonderful board, we have people that are engaged, that love this place as much as I do. And so I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm starting to look forward to this time off. Actually, funny enough, I had not been looking forward to it because I love what I do. I love my work. And to think about going home to clean house and take care of wills and like all of that stuff, that doesn't really sound like much fun. You know, I'd really rather be here. But it's a necessity. It's a necessity. So I'm doing that. It's called centerism. Inspirited. Thank you. Speaking of centered, right? Being centered. So here is what is in the center where these two, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, overlap each other. We find that oneness. We find our authenticity. We become aware. We find balance and clarity. Creation, freedom, power, synergy, connection, all the good stuff. Really good stuff right there, right? When we find our balance, we're no longer swinging out here and swinging back here and trying to compensate and burning up all that energy. We find a place of balance and connection and synergy and oneness. I love this. The union of feminine and masculine energies within the individual is the basis of all creation, from Shakti Gawain, the basis of all creation. Another little thing, throwback, right? In the Trinity, you got Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. Where else in creation does that exist? They took women out of that even, right? It's father, mother, child. Everybody knows that. But in the Trinity, they took the woman out. They made a ghost. They made her a ghost. It's crazy. The union of feminine and masculine energies within the individuals is the basis of all creation. Embrace both sides, both polarities. Embrace your inner feminine, embrace your masculine, so that you can be all that you came here to be and create what it is that is yours to create. It takes both. It takes both to bring anything new into the world. Both. So Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, right? Out beyond all the polarities, the right and the wrong and the this and the that and the men and the women and the vegans and the carnivores and the Democrats and the Republicans. We can all find our place of unity and oneness and experience it. And I invite you to do that by embracing your own self. So here's our affirmation. And I'll invite you to, I'll say it once, I invite you to make it your own. If you want to say it with me, you can do that the second time around. It says, I transcend limitations of duality by honoring and appreciating the divinity that lies within and all around me. Can you all feel that? Say that. I transcend limitations of duality by honoring and appreciating the divinity that lies within and all around me. And so it is. And so it is. All right. We were going to do a song, but it's a video, and I think we'll just skip it. Get us back on track a little bit. So, you all right with that? Okay. Very good. I think that's it. Did y'all get anything out of this? I think maybe I'll say a little prayer to close this portion out, and then we will be doing our offering. You know what? Let's do the offering now. Let's do that now. So we've been love you too. I love you too. And we're having our little tech glitches here this morning, but it's all good. Thank you. It's all good. So we are part of a larger organization, as I said, Centers for Spiritual Living, all over the world. They're located. But each one is independent and exists because of the giving of the community. So we are here because of you all. And so we just invite you, a really good way to show your appreciation is with money, is with finances. Let's just be real, right? We have bills to pay. I don't know what's happening. So anyway, we don't have our affirmation. We're just going to have to remember it. But I invite you all to give as you can. Whatever it is that you can give is greatly appreciated. And there are lots of ways to give to the center. You can give through your financial gifts. You can also give your gifts of time and talent. And Cole is not here today, our volunteer coordinator, but we're always looking for volunteers in different aspects of the center, like stuff outside. We just had this place painted. I mean, there's all kinds of things to do. So if you are interested, let us know. We'll plug you in with our volunteer coordinator. Erin has our prayer requests. If there is something that is weighing on you, if there is something you would like some prayer support with, we would be glad to offer that to you. So you write down your requests, what it is that you would like to experience, and myself, Donna, Norma, Reverend Peggy, our practitioners, will pray on those for you. All righty. So Christina's got the donation basket. You can also give out in the vestibule. There's what do you call it? One of those things. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A kiosk where you can slide your debit card or your credit card. There is also text to tithe. Does anyone remember the number? As many times as we've said it. 352 320 5110. 320-5110. That is for people who want to really streamline it, make it easy. Once you set that number up in your phone, you text the amount that you want to come to the center, and it goes right from your account to ours. Super easy, super fun. Yep. Oh, so if you're watching at home and you're on Facebook, you can also give us stars. So that's another nice way to give to CSL Ocala, is write us a nice review. It's very helpful. What are we up to, Richard, in likes? 16,000. We have 16,000 followers. Can you believe that? On Facebook? How amazing is that? And it is organic growth. It's just people sharing, the messages. And Richard puts out so many wonderful messages. I think it gives people a really great sense, and some funny stuff too. It's all really good. So if you have not liked our Facebook page, do that. What else can I tell you?
The May, June Science of Mind magazine in the bookstore.
Awesome.
The dual issue, 2-month issue.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you, David. Science of Mind magazine. Get your magazine. There's affirmations for every day of the month, and the issues now have 2 months in them, so it's May, June. All right, so
after Circle Conversations next week, we're going to have a parenting class.
Yeah,
So-
we'll do the announcements in a minute. I want to hit all of them, and we'll pass the mic, make sure we get all the announcements. All right, so we got all our donations. We've got our prayer requests. All right, so take a moment. Turn your attention within again. As I breathe in, I give thanks for that singular power and presence that runs in, around, and through all things. I am grateful for everyone that has shown up today in whatever capacity, whether they are here in the building with us, whether they are online or watching at some future date. I am just grateful for this group of people of like hearts and minds, of people who are able to embrace that divine feminine and that sacred masculine within them, as we all endeavor to create a world that works for all of us. And so I'm grateful for everyone here. I'm grateful for the prayer requests that have been shared, for knowing that the answer to each and every prayer already exists in the mind of God. And I just affirm that all situations are resolving for the highest and best of all people involved. I'm grateful for these folks here, for the light that they are, for the love that they share. And I just affirm that each one is blessed for having been here and continues to be a blessing to every life that they touch. And so I release these words with joy and gratitude and know it is already done. So it is. So it is. All right. Oh, we do have announcements, perhaps. Old ones. Okay. Well, you can sign up for the newsletter online at cslocala.org. Is that this? No, that's old. But you want to talk? Well, let's get that microphone. So FYI, next week, every week is something different. Second Sunday is what we call Super Second Sunday, which is the most traditional thing we do. Next week, we'll have circle conversations, and I will not be leading. Donna will be leading next week. So what we do is like a small, short overview of whatever, the topic is for the month. And then we break out into small groups and folks get to sit in that magical circle that I talked about earlier. And you get to talk about how these ideas impact your life. And it kind of expands everyone's awareness and understanding. And then the fourth Sunday of the month, we have Gaylin.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. I'm going to be speaking on one of the chapters from Psychedelic Dreams and Rituals. And this chapter is going to be on regeneration and regeneration of mind, body, and spirit. So I invite you all to come, bring a friend, and we're going to have an incredible time. Following that, this is the fourth Sunday, not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. And then following my speaking, David's going to be facilitating a psychedelic integration circle. It's a sober circle. Everyone shows up, talks about their experiences. It's a safe place to share. And also improves our harm reduction as well, because you're in a safe place where people can share their stories and share their journeys. And thank you so much, Cindy, for inviting me and having these things here, really putting the center on the forefront and as a model center for spiritual growth.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the class? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I don't have the exact date, but we went ahead and have a parenting class that's coming up. May 19th. So if you, at 3:00, if you happen to have a small one in your family, they don't have to live with you. You just can be of support for that small one that's coming into this human expression. Y'all know what it's like to come into the expression and not have people with the skills and tools to help you navigate the world. And so this person that's coming in, Jessica, she's wonderful. Is she a social worker? Mm-hmm. She's a social worker. She does this. She works with families to keep families together. This is something that she does for a living out in the community. And she is bringing that here to our community to help us so that we can have some tools to navigate this world for these children, especially the kids who are coming in right now who may be a little bit spicy. Without the spicy, there ain't no good pot, right? I'm from Jamaica. Without the spice, your pot ain't good. I'm just saying, y'all know. So, I just feel that anything to help us figure out and navigate so that we don't do damage. And now they have to relearn a bunch of stuff like we have to learn now, right? It takes so much time and effort. Isn't it great to just start out the gate whole and complete and stay that way? So that's why we're doing this.
Thank
And
you,
bring in
Don.
professionals to come do it. I'm not
Thank
the
you,
one.
Donna. Yes, John has an announcement.
Hi, sort of dovetailing on Gaylin and David's work. There's a recovery program, 12-step recovery program called Psychedelics in Recovery. It's an international program that's gaining a lot of foothold in the world. It was started by people who had long-term recovery and were still struggling with a lot of issues in their lives, a lot of trauma issues and whatnot, and somehow the recovery wasn't doing it for any other 12-step programs. So they turned to plant medicines and psychedelics to deal with a lot of issues that weren't being resolved with tremendous results. And so we are starting. There is a meeting here on Mondays at 6 p.m. We started a chapter here, first in-person chapter in Florida. Yay. Yeah. There are a lot of meetings online with a lot of different topics if anyone would like to access and see what it's about. So it's open to anyone who has used plant medicine and, consciousness expanding substances, or are curious, or are in recovery programs, not. And so if you just like to come, it's open to everyone. It's 6 p.m. every Monday in this room. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
If you have any questions, you can talk to me afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, Pam.
Also for June 30th, we have the Prism Market from 10 to 4. I believe it's like a circus theme. We have 2 workshops. So if anybody wants to be a vendor, we have a packet for you to fill out.
Awesome.
Just
Thank
wanting to
you,
let you know.
Pam. Yes, on the 5th Sunday, when we have a 5th Sunday, we do the Prism Market, and that's an opportunity for folks to share their wares.
That's all the holistic, different types of modalities all in this area, on this
Come
land.
on down.
So if you do something and you want to share that with someone, please come see Pam and she will hook you up with a vendor spot. Also, I'm very proud of our community because, traditionally we all talk about the health stuff, and being a nurse, it's all about the health stuff and all about the body. And the only time we find help is when the body's breaking down and we have acute issue. And I'm so proud of our community because we are talking about the mental stuff, talking about traumas, talking about our brain, talking about how we assimilate the world. And we're doing it in an honest way. And I'm very proud of everybody for stepping, because this is very cutting edge stuff. And we're bringing in experts like Galen to come in. I mean, she's a mental health psychotherapist, for goodness sakes, I mean, we have professionals here who are actually holding us and helping us. And I'm very proud of y'all for showing up and saying, yes, I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
We need balanced people
Awesome.
in the world, y'all.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Let's bring our little folk in here. Time to bless our little people.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Where's
They
our
were
music?
really quiet. Did y'all know they were so? Wait till you see how many kids there are.
Come on up, come on up, come on up.
And realize how quiet they were. They were so good. Did y'all have fun back there? All right, come on. Hi. Yay. Oh,
Back there.
look
They're
at
still
that.
coming.
They're
Still
still
coming.
coming. They're
Come
still
on
coming.
down.
Come on. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine, shine. Oh, there's Grandma. Shine, shine.
You know you want to. Here she comes. Shine, shine. All around the world. Shine, shine. Bring Miss Alice. Come
All
on.
right.
I go.
So what did they do back there? Do we have a spokesperson? Does anyone want to be a spokesperson? Tell us what you all did back there.
She's like, no.
No. He's smiling big. Do you want to use a microphone? And show what you did? Yeah. Tell us what's going on back there. What's your name?
Jeremy,
Jeremy? Yes. And did you make some crafts?
yeah.
What did you do?
Dollar into up paper and made some butterflies.
You made butterflies. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Thank you, Jeremy. You want to say something? Oh, you want to take a turn?
It's easy, Soji.
All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Let's rub our hands together. And what do we say? We honor you.
We see your light. May it shine on all that you do. And so it is. And so
All
it is.
right.
Yo, fast forward about 70 years. Can you see it? You never get any more actual soul. It's all already here. It's just a physical form that changes. So as we are honoring them, just honor the little
Honor
child inside of you that
ourselves.
is still there going, wait a minute, what about me? So I always make people do this. So can you put your hand on your heart here? Right. And now I want you to say, I honor you.
I honor you.
I see your light.
I see your light.
May it shine on all that we do.
May it shine on all that we do.
And so it is.
Welcome to do it along with us.
Okay.
It goes like this. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And
All right,
so it
so it
is.
is.
And
And-
shall we bless the food real quick? Everybody know the Addams family? All right, so everybody do this.
Snappers.
Snap, 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 snap. There you go. Connecting to that inner child. Ready? Da 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 da. 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 We thank you, God, for giving the things we need for living, the food, the fun, the friendship, the CSL family. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Sweet. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's eat. Thank you, Girl
All
Scouts.
right. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, he